in respect to the temple, I would have to say, from a kutia to a modern day mandir. That's what it was. So let me take you back about 50 years ago. A very young and ambitious man was chairing a meeting in the kutia. His goal was to build a mandir. The discussions were centered around fundraising events. He had an executive with him, and he had the members of the Hindu community backing him and supporting him. He was very young at that time. I think he was in his 20s at that time, probably. I was probably in my teens. Year after year, there would be fundraising events, such as bazaar shows, classical singing, etc. And I see a lot of people here who had taken part in those events. Every year, he would host a yag, and all the money collected from the arti was donated to the temple building fund. The pundits also who officiated did not take a cent from us. It was done free of charge. All those were contributed towards the construction of the temple. All through these years, Bali played an important role in the construction of the mandir. He stayed with us there, he toiled, he worked very hard. He was very passionate. It was his goal to see that we had a mandir in this area. Eventually, that day came, and I remember Mr. Charles, Mr. Henry Charles, pulling lines, putting down the pickets, and he said, you guys can start digging holes. And that was the beginning of what we now call the Bamboo No. 2 Sumati Sabha Shiv Mandir. After the mandir was completed, he had approached the Self-Help Commission, and he was successful in obtaining additional materials for the temple and the construction of the annex to the temple. It was his goal, it was his dream come true. He and the entire community continued to carry on all the religious activities at the mandir. If I had to describe Bali's life in one word, it would be complete. Bali lived a complete life. He served his community well, he served his family well, he served friends, neighbors, well-wishers, even strangers. He treated them very well. So, in paying tribute to him, may Lord Krishna embrace him. May he receive that blessings. May his soul rest in peace. May he receive eternal peace and blessings. Sitaram, thank you.
Thank you, Honorary. This time, we would like to call on another relative, Mr. Ramesh Sananan, who flew into the country. I would like to invite him to come and say a few words.
Thank you, Mukesh, for giving me this opportunity. Thank you, Sandra, for giving me a few moments, for giving me 1 hour to pay tribute to Bali. You know, I've known Bali my entire life. And Bali, for those of you who don't know, is his parents were my Aji and Aja. So Bali, we are relatives. We are friends. We have that relationship has evolved into more of a friendship than family. Bali and I, you know, go way back. You know, the previous speakers made mention of so many things that I have been involved with Bali. Mukesh said that, you know, I flew in from abroad for this funeral, but I always refer to myself as being a bamboo boy. I'm proud of being from this village. This is the only village I know. I have lived many places in the world, but this is my home. Whenever I come to this country, this is where I stay. This is where I spend my time. this is where I visit my friends and relatives. And 2 months ago, Bali and Sandra and I sat right there on Saturday morning, chatting for 3 hours, talking about the good old days. And there's so much to talk about the good old days, Ganesh can't remember me, but if you can recall our good old days of Sunday morning cricket at Val Park, car park. Right. And Roy spoke about the Sumati Sabha. When we started the Sumati Sabha, Bali was the president, I was the secretary of the Sumati Sabha. And that was in the late 60s. And so we have been through a long journey. Cricket, as Anroy talked about, Bali was our first captain. When Bali gave up the captaincy, he gave it to me. One of the things I'm most proud about in my relationship with Bali is that in all my 69 years of knowing him, we have never once exchanged a harsh word. I've seen all our friends, fight and bicker and stop talking to each other. Not once in my entire life have I ever, or he has ever exchanged a harsh word with each other. And that's my greatest memory of him. I find that so important in a relationship that, and as we get older, this one don't talk to that one is vexed with that one. And I speak to all my boyhood friends from the village, why are you living this life? It's, today we are here, tomorrow we are gone. And everybody expects perfection in each other. And we fail to examine ourselves to see our own faults. So I am proud about, I think Bali and I fell out once. Ganesh talked about cricket, Anroy talked about cricket. And we fell out on the cricket field because Bali was the captain. And when I reflect on those days in the early 1970s of our cricketing days, I say, wait a minute, when I look at cricket now, I say Bali was a visionary because our falling out on the cricket field was Bali used to take the brand new cricket ball. He was an off-break bowler. I used to be the opening bowler. I bowl medium pace. And he would take the brand new ball and rub it in the grass and start bowling spin. And I'm like, what are you doing? Now, in T20 cricket, that's the norm. So what he was doing, 50 years ago, it's now the norm. So I used to argue with him, why aren't you giving me the ball? But, he has I guess he was a visionary and he had his own way of seeing things. But I want to say to his family, Bali and I go a long, long way, and my relationship with his family will continue. I will always be here to visit and offer my support. And I want you all to stay strong in this time of difficulty. And to my dear friend and relative, I want to say, sleep well, my friend. May your journey continues, and may you find everlasting peace in your life. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Sinanan. At this time, I would like to just take a brief moment to acknowledge Mr. Chankar Sitaram, who is in our midst somewhere, who has been very, very instrumental in a major aspect of Baliram's life. Pleasant good morning to you, Mr. Sitaram. Nice to have you with us this morning. Okay. Another acknowledgement. Now, those of you all who don't know Bali, you didn't want to get into a political debate with him because he read every single newspaper, looked at every clipping, and had the most appropriate answer for you, regardless of whatever party you belong to. He and I had a lot of those debates, so I can attest to that. And in doing so, I would just like to extend to the family, MP for St. Augustine constituency, Khadija Amin. She expressed her sorrow in not being able to attend this morning due to quarantine. And yes, she did tell me I can say that she's in quarantine. So she expressed condolences to the family and apologized for not being able to attend this morning. So I know we press for time, but I guess almost every person sitting here this morning would like to say something, all right? Unfortunately, it cannot happen. At this time, I'm going to call on Mr. Chowti, a very good friend of Bali, to say some brief words on his behalf.
Thank you very much, Master Sarpanch. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning, Sitaram, especially to Sandra and the children, and by extension, the Ramlakhan family. I am here. My name is Premnath Chowti. I am from Bamboo One. And I am here to give you a little bit of the history between Bali and his life in Bamboo 2. Bamboo 1 and 2 originated in 1949 when people were relocated from Biokal and Wana village to settle in these two villages. And the most important thing in those days was the camaraderie between the people. Everybody knew each other. Everybody knew each other from both villages. So that was the camaraderie that we shared, and the children, like me and Bali, we shared that same camaraderie. We knew each other. We may not know the children and the grandchildren, but we knew each other. And the second one I want to speak about is the rivalry. There was a great rivalry between Bamboo 1 and 2 in cricket and football. Bali was a cricketer, but the rest of the Ramlakhan family were very good footballers. And we shared that rivalry in a very nice and very loving way. After we finished play, whoever win, doesn't matter. We still had that camaraderie between each other. I also would like to extend the condolences from his fishing friends of Valsain, which is David and Ephraim, Baal, I don't know, I didn't see Baal, and Richie. Richie had the boat, right, Sandra? So we all grew up together. I remember a lady saying that he went to Presal Government School, but he also went to Bamboo Grove Presbyterian School, which we shared. Bali was just about a couple of years older than I am, so we still shared that bond with each other. I heard the master ceremonies talking about the politics. We shared many discussions with the politics, what is right, what is wrong. We shared our differences, but we remain friends. And to Sandra and the 3 children, the grandchildren, they used to visit our home. Sandra, unfortunately, my mother cannot be here. Sunday she was 90 years old. And please free, after you all have finished your morning, feel free to continue to come and visit her. I also shared that great bond with Sandra because Sandra's father and I were friends for over 30 years. Samson Rade. I am a follower of classical singing for over 35 years now. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is my association with Bali and this family, the entire Ramlakhan family, and many more people in Bamboo. So today, accept our condolences. I know it's going to be a little bit tough for you, Sandra, especially, and the 3 children, which you cherish so much. But there's a time which I said for my mother's funeral, God took him at the appointed time. That's what we believe in. God took him at the appointed time. And the consolation that I want to share with Sandra and the children and the grandchildren is that anywhere you go in Trinidad, you will hear somebody talk something good about Bali. And that is the consolation that you must keep in your heart, that you will say something good about him. I don't think there will be anybody who will say anything bad about him. And the third thing that I want to say, Bali has helped a lot of business people in this country because of his profession. But Bali never allowed any businessman to encourage him to do anything illegal in his profession. He will assist you, he will show you what is right, what is wrong, how you could do this, how you could do that. But if you tell him that I want you to do so and so that is illegal, he will tell you, look, I done with you. And he gone. So he has gone with his integrity intact. He has gone with a legacy that Bali has left, not only in Bamboo 1 and 2, but all over this country. So with these few words, Bali, rest in peace, and thank you very much, Sandra, for allowing me the few minutes. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chowdhury. Okay, at this time, I am going to call on a few of the family members. And one of the things that we can attribute to Bali and his success and his remembrance is his honesty, his dedication, and his love for people. And I heard someone said it earlier on, and everything and all the blessings that he got is mainly due to that individual that we are seeing there. And this is truly reflected in his children and likewise his grandchildren. So at this time, I'm going to call on Roshni, Rishan, and Cherry. I can't remember her real name now. So, and that would be followed by the eulogy, which will be read by his youngest daughter, Dana. Yeah?
Sitaram, my name is Roshan Baliram Hussain, the grandson of the late Baliram Ramlakhan, my papa. Today we are here to celebrate his life. Papa was the best. Papa and I would often have lots of fights, but we loved each other. I miss and love you, Papa. Thank you for everything, especially my face. I am you.
Sitaram everyone. My papa liked to eat nuts and walk in the hammock. He used to harass us when we are playing, but he loved us. I will miss him a lot.
Pleasant good day, everyone. These were his two grandchildren. Now, the eldest said she doesn't think she can say a few words. So these two, the braver ones, decided that, you know what, they're going to say a line of two, and we're very proud of them. You know, we can see a bit of him in them because they have the bravery and they love to talk. So we can see that something goes on. And like I call him my second son, my first son. Yes, as he says, he has the face. So, you know, we have a young Bali in the midst of us, so we have to brace ourselves. I just want to say a few words to everyone. Pleasant good day, Sitaram, namaste to all. Dad was a humble, well-respected, and successful man known to many. Today I want to talk a bit not only Dad, but Mom as well. We all know the famous saying, behind every successful man is a strong woman who is always supporting him. And Mom is one who never faltered. She may not have agreed with all his decisions, but she supported him nonetheless. And when we talk about opposites attract, I think Mom and Dad are the perfect example. He was the life of the party, the man in the middle, in the midst of everything. Yet her priority was religion and culture. We grew up celebrating every festival in Trinidad, both religious and non-religious. But most importantly, we did it all together as a family. Little did we know that these simple things would be our roots and foundation to the empire that we have today. Our motto taught at home, taught to us by Mom and Dad, which we now teach to our kids as well, is regardless of where life takes you and who you may become, always remember two things. Never forget where you come from, and always try to help others along the way. And I think everybody could attest to that because Dad was a man who never said no to anyone. You would always come to him regardless of where he was, what he may be doing, he would always assist the best that he can. Mom, you have supported Dad from day one to his last, but we are here to support you all the way. Thank you.
Good morning. I'm Sitaram, everyone. You say I am the one that I will come here and I will put on a face, but today it's not a face. I have the face just like my son has. Baliram Samuel Ramlakhan. He was born on July 24th, 1949. He resided in Prisal and Bamboo while growing up. Diabetes soon after marriage, and the latter at Bamboo number 2. He attended Prisal Government and Bamboo Grove Presbyterian, and then on to St. George's College. He furthered his education for some time in England, and on his return, his career of being an accountant unfolded. He was also a fisherman in between, for his love of his hobby was so great. I always said he was an accountant during the week and a fisherman on a Saturday. Somewhere in finding his career, he found his love, my mother. And with this, he began his journey on being a husband and the only father one can ask for. They have 3 children, my sisters and myself, 4 grandchildren, 2 son-in-laws, and 1 is still pending. He lived a full life. He was loved in the eyes of many and envied by some. He was selfless in his actions, especially in helping others. There isn't anyone who truly knows him that can say different. As a child, as his child, I reap that benefit of saying to someone that I am the daughter of Bali Ramlakhan, or in my village as Belin's daughter. Sometimes they might say I'm Belin's Bajan daughter too. Some would also say he was a limer, the life of the party. I would not beg to differ. Indeed, he was the man to ensure that anyone would enjoy themselves. He was infamously known at funerals and weddings to have his trunk open, and all were welcome. We taking your trunk today, Dad, but we'll have water and chubby. He was the glue that held his immediate and extended family together. Most know of him, others know him, but his struggles were unknown to many. I am a proud product of his legacy, my sisters and our children too. I take offense when those of the opinion that he was just a limer. I would not change it. He earned his right to enjoy all his life had to offer. My father worked hard from day one to make it today, and boy did he. With his will and my mother's unending support, they have achieved it all. His motto was, your education is the key to life. It is your house. You must have a solid foundation. People can tarnish your character, but they can never take away your education. And the ever so famous sticks and stones will break my bones, but words will never hurt me. In that breath, he would remind us to gather the strength that people will be jealous of even your name. But stand tall and do unto others as you would like to be done unto you. These lines and the stories of tying the cow before going to school, having no slippers to wear to school, coming home to look after the garden and taking care of animals after school would forever be embedded within me. I often hear myself repeating some of these lines to my sons. My sisters and I were brought up with high expectations, and we are yet to fail my parents. Some say we were too privileged. I say we are blessed. My parents did their job and still continue to do so. The pillars we were brought up upon is a reflection of the foundation laid by our parents. Today is probably one of the hardest days, but the last year and a half was the best. I have 35 years of memories that will live on in my heart. I have your face, my sons have your face, and they even have your names too. A face that I will never cease to love. Dad, Roshni, Chini, and myself, we love you very much. Mommy too, probably a little bit more. I remember all that you have offered to my life to make me a better individual. And as you lie here as a body, your soul has ascended, but you will forever be remembered as somebody to everybody. Thank you for everything. And thank you for the strength also, because I really thought I would have cried.
Thank you to my lovely niece, who is supported by the other nieces. I just want to tell you all something. When Bali joined the family, well, for those of you all who came in late, I am his brother-in-law, Sandra's brother. Sometimes I would be at a funeral or a wedding reception, and I will just get a tap on my shoulder. You are required to speak. I said, but nobody told me that. He said, well, I am telling you, you have to speak. And Bali was the speaker prior to that. And for those of you all who don't know, he was requested at most of these events. So he was really and truly, you know, the life of the party. All right, so thank you again, Dana, for that wonderful eulogy. So we're on the home stretch. All right. So funerals have become the common ground for reunions. And while we joke about it, you hear it a lot of times. Boy, lucky for this funeral, we meet. You know, this has become the common ground for reunion. The man or woman lying in the coffin might have been happier if we could have shared moments like this while they were alive. Why do we make time for funerals and not a lifetime for family and friends? Only each of us can answer that. Bali's time have expired and he is gone to be with his maker. Let us fix us, for only us can fix us. Sandra, Ramlakhan and family would like to express heartfelt gratitude in this time of grief. Those who paid house visits, called on the phone while Bali was alive, checking in on the family. All the emotional support after his passing, the daily visits, persons attending the wake, especially those who came every single night. To everyone who contributed towards the refreshments and the persons who assisted in the preparation of those refreshments. And today I would also like to express heartfelt thanks to the many little ones who were here at the wake night, who were, we'll call the servers. Some nice young men and young ladies who were doing the serving. Thank you very much. All the late night card players. Sometimes people think that you all are insignificant and you're just there to keep somebody up. But you know, it's nice sometimes to have traditional things remain, and history can show that these card players, they serve the purpose. And emotional support for the family, you know, just knowing that there are persons around. And I want to acknowledge you all this morning. Navin, Lalu, and the facilitation of the live stream here this morning. Thank you very much, Navin. And Navin, are we switching on another stream for the cremation? The same stream? Okay. Again, to all of you present, the live streamers, and those who came in from abroad, all of Bali's relatives, brothers and sisters, I tried to see if I could get a semblance of how many and how much I could write, and then I just decided I will say brothers and sisters because there are so many. And I know that every single one of you all, somewhere down in your heart, no matter what part of the world that you are, I know your heart is embedded right here this morning with the family, and we just want to tell you all thank you. May God eternally bless and keep you all in good health. And at this point, I'm going to switch back to Pandit Anand Sharma, who will continue with the arati, and he will take the balance of the proceedings here this morning. And I am just extending, when it's time for the final viewing, we are asking persons if we can just make our way quickly around to facilitate a time and also to be courteous to the other persons who wish to view the body. So at this time, I'm handing right back over to Pandit Sharma.
Take flowers, you know. At this point in time, I would like to say a few words on behalf of this family. It has been 28 years that I have been doing prayers for this family. I started from Aji across the road when her original Baba, Pandit Puna, passed. From then I started to do prayers for many years for Mama. And then all that time I doing prayers for my sister and uncle Bali. And if I tell you all something, for 28 years I've been the pundit of this family. And for 25 years, I always running late. Anytime I had to do prayers in this house, I always running late. 2 hours late, 3 hours late. Sometimes Randy had to come home and wake me up. So only 3 years now I started to run in time. Instead of them had to wait for me, I had to wait on them. But nevertheless, the love and the affection that Uncle Bali, his children, and his Dharam Patni always shows me is one of a kind. And so, how much time I tell them, I say, well, again, next pundit now. Why will I do again next pundit? They do the prayers. Because I always running late. I always put in data and forget it. But I never disappoint them. At no time. And Uncle Bali and my Didi Sandra is the only two person could call me today for today and ask me that they want a prayers today or tomorrow. Nobody else had that privilege. And I never gave nobody that privilege besides these two individuals. Always last minute. Today for tomorrow. And I always say, for 28 years since I known this family, especially Uncle Bali and Aunt Sandra, not one day they always show me love. And I will continue showing them the same love that shows me. I will show them same love. When I told Roshni and Auntie Sandra a few months ago, I say if you make 73, it will not be too long after that. So expect anything after that. Yeah. And so decided to think all how, but I said, don't worry. Everything will be okay. And I stood at the side and I will continue staying at the side. As I mentioned to Roshni and Dina, what day? I said, let everybody drink, eat, and marry. After today, no drink, no eat, and no marry. Everything take a different course from now on. From today, is a different course. It's ritual parts of the soul of the deceased. And so, regardless of what people say about me, in the past, in the present, and they will continue to say all kind of things about me in the future. But nevertheless, this is the man and this is the woman. Never cares what anyone says, or neither the children says anything. Cares what anyone says about me. I will always be the pundit. So my dear friends, you have to be doing good things, or bad things for people to be talking about you, And more bad things you do is more people will talk about you. So that make you important. Because if I wasn't important, nobody would not say things about me. So I make myself important. I learned as a Sanatanist Hindu a few years ago. I doing puja right under this house here, and I asked for the flag, and I learned something from Uncle Bali as a pundit. He said, you're calling this a flag? This is not a flag. Where we call this thing outside flying is a flag, is not a flag. Is a jandi. He says a flag is square, and this is a jandi. And I never yet think about that, calling it a flag, a flag. But what we call as a flag is not a flag, is a jandi. And Uncle Bali quite right to say a flag is square. I have spent most of my time in prayers with this family, and I want to say to my Didi and her children and grandchildren and two son-in-law is that I will continue being at your side. As Lord Krishna Bhagavan says that, O man, O Arjuna, what dies? We are fortunate to live in a planet which is called Mityulok, a planet that the only planet that have living things living upon this earth. And he says that what born in this earth must die. When a child in this world, when a child is born into this world, the first thing all of we did as a child, we all cry. Why we cry? Because we have come in this world. We don't know what we will face in this world, in this janam, in this lifetime. And today, the same cry that he cried 73 years ago as Uncle mentioned, Uncle Bali enjoy his life to the fullest. And the same cry, regardless of what he undergo in life, today when all of we, or all of us, in sorrow and in grief, Uncle Bali is smiling. Because we came from God, and one day we'll return back to the Maker, which is Bhagavan. Lord Krishna says, this body is like a cage, and in a cage, there's an Atma or a Jeev is trapped in this cage. And when this Jeev or this Atma leave this physical body of ours, it will merge back with God, with oneness, with the Maker, one day, and it will become Param Atma. Yeah. It will become Param Atma. We are back with oneness with the Maker, and God is going to determine to the life for our next janam. And my friends, at this point in time, there's flowers. All who would like to come and put up flowers, feel free to do so. I would like to call upon the relatives of Bali sisters and brothers, nieces and nephews to come first, and then after everybody come. Pinjere ki panjere तेरा दर्द न जाने कोई, तेरा दर्द न जाने कोई, पिंजरे की पंजरे तेरा दर्द न जाने कोई, तेरा दर्द न जाने कोई, बाहर से तू खामोश है तू, भीतर भीतर रोई रे, रो भीतर भीतर रोए, तेरा दर्द न जाने कोई, तेरा दर्द न जाने कोई, पिंजरे की पंजरे रे तेरा दर्द न जाने कोई, तेरा दर्द न जाने कोई, कह न सके तो अपने कहानी, तेरे बेपंछी क्या जिंदगानी रे, कह न सके तो अपने कहानी, तेरे बेपंछी क्या जिंदगानी रे, विदे न तेरे कथा की, आसों में कर्म कबूर, तेरा दर्द न जाने कोई, तेरा दर्द न जाने कोई, पिंजरे की पंजरे तेरा दर्द न जाने कोई, तेरा दर्द न जाने कोई, चुप के रोने वाले रखना छिपा के दिल की चाले रे। चुप के रोने वाले रखना छिपा के दिल की चाले रे। हे पत्थर का वो इश्क पगली कोई न तेरा हो, तेरा दर्द न जाने कोई, तेरा दर्द न जाने कोई। पिंजरे की पंछी दर्द न जाने कोई, तेरा दर्द न जाने कोई। पिंजरे की पंजरे तेरा दर्द न जाने को, तेरा दर्द न जाने को। जय कृष्ण हरे श्री कृष्ण हरे, दुखियों को दुख दूर करे। जय 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 कृष्ण हरे, जय कृष्ण हरे श्री कृष्ण हरे, दुखियों को दुख दूर करे। जय 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 कृष्ण हरे। जब चारों तरफ अंधियारा हो, आशा का दूर किनारा हो। जब चारों तरफ अंधियारा हो, आशा का दूर किनारा हो। फिर तो ये न के वन वाला हूँ, फिर तो ये न के वन वाला हूँ। फिर तू भी तेरा पार करो। जय 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 कृष्ण हरे, जय कृष्ण हरे श्री कृष्ण हरे, दुखियों को दुख दूर करे। जय 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 कृष्ण हरे। तू चाहे तो सब कुछ कर दे, विष को भी अमृत कर रे। पूरन करके सबकी आशा, जो भी तेरा ध्यान करे वो, जो भी तेरा ध्यान करे। जय 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 कृष्ण हरे, जय कृष्ण हरे श्री कृष्ण हरे, दुखियों को दुख दूर करे। जय 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 कृष्ण हरे। तेरे दर्शन को मैं तरस रहा, तेरा नाम की माला जब तेरा भव सागर से मोरे नया। चन में जा न किनार हो, चन में जा न किनार हो। जय 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 कृष्ण हरे, जय कृष्ण हरे श्री कृष्ण हरे, दुखियों को दुख दूर करे। जय 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 कृष्ण हरे, जय 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 कृष्ण हरे। ओम श्री तत्सत हरि ओम तत्सत।
Sitaram, Namaste, Assalam, good morning to all. Today, in the midst of the mix-up and everything, I not really forgotten my mother, but my mind is out today. My mom's sitting in the middle there, and she's my everything in the world. This morning where Bali is. And she's given me all the consolation. My father is gone, my eldest brother-in-law has gone, and she's keeping saying to me, she said, Mama, you need to be strong. Mama, I don't know how strong I will be, but I promise I will be strong. I want to just sing 2 lines of Bali favorite bhajan that he will sing. There is one film song, Bali has challenged me, and he said, you know, you think you can sing and your father can sing. And he will come home, and the minute he starts singing the song, Tere Naina, I will sit and I will look at him and I say, that's your song. My father's song is different, my song is different. But there's one bhajan he will sing all the time. If I'm able, and I would like all of you this morning to please join. The words cannot express in my heart for all the people who supported me in the temple, in whatever has taken place here, whether it be a wedding or whatever. I'm standing here not by myself with my own strength, but with the support and the love of all of you. Please join together with me as I will sing. Raghupati Gavarajaram. Raghupati Raghava Raja Ram Patita Pavana Sitaram Raghupati Raghava Raja Ram Patita Pavana Sitaram Sitaram Jai Sitaram Raghupati Raghava Raja Ram Sitaram Jai Sitaram Raghupati Raghava Raja Ram Raghupati Raghava Raja Ram Patita Pavana Sitaram. I know Bali will not be here to say Sitaram to all of you. I will take this, not opportunity or privilege, but I want to say Sitaram to all of you as well. Sitaram to all the pundits, to all the speakers, and to everyone this morning. Sitaram.
ओम नारायणाय कृष्णाय गोविंदाय नमो नमः। हरि पापनाथाय गोविंदाय नमस्ते। ओम श्री तत्सरोमाय नमो नमः। श्री कृष्णाय कमलापति यरूपति सीतापति वैकुंठपति पाहि मां शरणागत वत्स वत्सलम्। ओम श्री तत्सरोमाय नमो नमः। ओम श्री कृष्णाय नमः। ओम श्री तत्सत। ओम नारायणाय कृष्णाय गोविंदाय नमो नमः। हरि पापनाथाय गोविंदाय नमस्ते। श्री कृष्णाय कमलापति यरूपति Sitapati Vaikunpati Pahi Mam Sharanagata Vaksalam Sri Tatsat. Yeah. Alright. Yeah. 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 Alright. Alright. Everybody does pour flowers now because we're running on time. Right?
But just ask those who want to view quickly, let them do it one
At
time.
this point in time, all who would like to take over final view. So as soon as we say closing prayer, we leave in with the body. So there will be no more viewing. So feel free, 5 minutes. Yeah. Yeah, put on my phone, let's suppose. All I put on Wallace. Final viewing. 2 minutes again. Take the rice and throw it inside.
मेरे नैना सावन भादो फिर भी मेरा मन प्यासा फिर भी मेरा मन प्यासा मेरे नैना सावन भादो फिर भी मेरा मन प्यासा फिर भी मेरा मन प्यासा ऐ दिल दीवाने खेल है क्या जाने दर्द भरा ये गीत कहाँ से इन्हों
Connect this camera. Connect it. Hold up. That's not. Yeah, drop the flap. Drop the flap. Drop the flap. Drop the flap. No, drop it completely. Hold it in your hand. Right, use this hamstring. Stand right in. You can have a wrap up this stuff. Huh? So that's all. Right, but now wrap up the other phone. With me. Right. Yeah, that's even right.
Everybody at this point in time will stand as we proceed towards the ceremony band.